All right, moving on to our next Patreon request, and this one comes from Hunter Johnson, who asked me to do a Steven Universe multi crossover. As always, if you guys would like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon, where you guys can hit the 3rd tier. That will allow you access to do so. So yeah, let's get started with the video. So basically what this story is that it's Steven Universe going around the multiverse. So anyway, let's get into it. So Steven, this is set after the show's end, and Steven is basically headed back to Beach City. He's headed back to Beach City. He's gone on his cross country trip, finding himself, and now he feels like he's ready to be Steven. He's ready to be back with his family again. However, as he's like driving back to Beach City, he's like right at the city limit. He's right back. He's back at the city limit, and however, what happens is that a bolt of lightning just comes down from the sky, and it drives Steven off the road. He's like, "What was that?" And his immediate reaction is to fight and stand and fight and get ready for whatever it is. And it turns out that lightning bolt was a dude, and it's Raiden. So yeah, this is what Hunter wanted, so we're just gonna roll with it. So yeah, Raiden has appeared before Steven Universe, and he's like, I'm sorry to have disturbed you, and I'm sorry to take you away from your family, but I have need of you, Steven Universe. The multiverse has need of you, Steven. And he's like, cool. What are you talking about exactly? And to which Raiden basically says, I have been watching you, Steven Universe. You're a hero of pure heart. You have seen the good in the worst of people, and you're a hero through and through. And I need someone like that for a task at hand. So Steven's like, okay, listen, I was just on a whole thing of like self-discovery, and I just don't want to do this right now. Like, I'm tired of fighting in another war. And he's like, I know this, Raiden's like, I know this is difficult for you, but the universe needs you, and I can think of no one better than you, Steven Universe, to help the multiverse. So Steven's like, okay, fine. What exactly is it? So Raiden basically explains that, like, he tells him about the multiverse and everything else, and he basically says, like, I have seen multiple timelines, and there are certain people in these other universes who, like you, stand against the darkness and protect the universe, protect their respective universes. I need you, but there's certain elements that I can see them veering off into something worse. So I need you. I'm going to send you to these 13 universes that need you the most, and basically save these people who are like you. Save them from, certain destruction, and basically cause universal destruction in some capacity. Like, basically keep a disaster from happening. Steven Universe, this is basically Quantum Leap. That's what we're dealing with here, is that it's basically like Quantum Leap. Anyway, so Steven begrudgingly agrees, and he's like, all right, do I have to... There are certain people you said I have to save. Who are they? And Raiden's like, I'll walk you through it. I'll send you to the first one. And the first one he sends him to is the Warhammer 40k universe. And the person he has to save is an alien known as Commander Farsight. So Steven has to save Commander Farsight because he is one of the only pure good people in a world of, a universe of just endless warfare and a grim, dark reality. So what's going to happen? So Raiden basically tells him, look, you have to protect Commander Farsight because he and the Farsight Enclave are the only true light in this darkness. Everyone else is shades of gray at best. So Steven has to protect Commander. So he joins alongside the Farsight Enclave, and as they're battling forces of Khorne, and specifically, Farsight is destined to in this possible timeline during this fight with with followers of Khorne, the World Eaters. Karn the Betrayer is going to kill Commander Farsight in a duel. But however, Steven shows up, and Commander Farsight's like, I don't know who you are, warrior, but you have a pure heart, so we'll stand together. When Karn and his warband show up, Steven actually jumps in the middle of the fight and actually beats down Karn, helps Commander Farsight beat him down, and forces Karn and the others to retreat. After that's done, he bounces to... Raiden sends him away in a bolt of lightning, sends him to the Star Wars universe to save Leia. And here's the thing, Leia is still a child, and it's not really a kidnapping another kidnapping attempt like in Obi-Wan. In here, Steven has to save her because she's out adventuring the woods again in Alderaan, and she basically is about to fall off a cliff. Steven saves her, brings her back to her house where Bail Organa's like, thank you for saving my daughter. Where'd the guy go? The next universe is Indiana Jones, where Steven is, he basically is, his task is to protect Indiana Jones, and this time he more or less like he pretends to be like he pretends to be like just a normal guy and is like, hey, I'm something of a treasure hunter, how about I tag along? And Indy's like, sure, I could use the extra set of hands. And it's basically a quest to find this shard of the True Cross, and the two encounter like a group of religious fanatics. Steven saves him and even recovers the True Cross for Indiana Jones. So with Indy saved, he's sent to Middle Earth, right into the mines of Moria, where his whole thing is like, he just showed like there's an arrow that's like in this possible timeline, there's an arrow that's bound to hit Frodo Frodo, and Steven just jumps in out of nowhere, uses his shield to block it, and is like, sorry, can't talk, gotta go, bye. Following that is the Sailor Moon universe, where Steven has to protect Usagi and the other basically he has to save all the Sailor Scouts from an attack by Queen Beryl, like a surprise attack in their sleep. So the whole night, Steven is just kind of running around, and the whole night, while they're asleep, he's fighting monsters left and right, while the Sailor Guardians are just asleep in their beds, while Queen Beryl just sent a bunch of monster assassins to try to kill them in their sleep. So Steven spends the whole night just fighting them off. He heads back he gets sent to another universe, this time the DC universe, where Superman has been poisoned by kryptonite, and Steven uses his healing to save Superman and cure him of the kryptonite poisoning from Lex Luthor. Then sent to the Marvel Universe during World War II, where Cap is about to be killed by Baron Blood in a booby trap. Steven jumps in, he's wearing a costume, and he goes, I'm Commander Universe, yeah. He's like, I like your shield, son. Thanks, I like yours. Even be a fun moment where they're both using each other's shields in that one moment. So after saving Steve Rogers, the next universe is Doctor Who, where Steven saves Patrick Troughton's Doctor, the second Doctor, from being killed by the Daleks. He saves him. He rescues him, then he's sent away. Next was the Pokemon universe, where in here, in here, Steven is used to save Ash and Pikachu from a Team Rocket scheme that almost basically kills them. And even Team Rocket's like, whoa, that was a little much even for us. Thanks, random kid, for stopping it. That machine kind of went haywire. Steven gets sent away again. This time he goes to hell, and in here, he has to protect Charlie from a group of demons who try to have less than nice plans for her. So he has to, she's trying to bring more people to the hotel. They're like, oh, we can take you to our hotel, sweetheart. Steven jumps in, fights them off, gets Charlie safe, and is sent to the next universe. The next one is the Terminator universe. And in here, Steven his whole task is to protect John and Sarah from another Terminator, where he has to fight like not one, not two, but three T-800s who are sent back in time to kill John and Sarah. So Steven has to fight like three T-800s at once. And he beats them. He takes them down. He gets sent away to the final universe, which is Gravity Falls. And in this universe, Steven protects the Pines twins from a scheme from Gideon that involves using a soul-stealing spell. Steven destroys the spell book and protects the Pines twins. So after those 13 universes are saved, Raiden's like, "You've done well, Steven. You have done these 13 labors, and the multiverse thanks you for your help." So, and he's like, "Cool. I've been yeah. Can I go home now?" And he's like, "That is he's like, you have earned your just reward and your just rest for saving the multiverse." And Raiden sends him directly in front of the house, the Steven universe, well, the beach house. And everyone's like, "Oh my God, it's Steven!" He's like, "Where have you been? We've been, how was your trip?" And he's like, "Enlightening. Let me tell you all about it." So there you go, guys. There's the story. Once again, I'd like to thank Hunter Johnson for this Patreon request and continued patronage. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.